Yankees will officially be without their ace this season as Gerrit Cole is set to undergo Tommy John surgery on Tuesday. The leader in the clubhouse to replace the Yankees ace is their second-ranked pitching prospect according to MLB Pipeline, 25-year-old Will Warren. Warren has gone from a pitcher with a 10.32 ERA in 6 appearances last season to someone that the Yankees fans were actually calling for to be in the rotation even before the Cole injury. He's given up only 2 earned runs on 4 hits and struck out 12 in 11 2/3 innings after another solid outing on Monday. To break down the new and improved Warren, I welcome on Thomas Nestico, who does a great job breaking down pitchers start by start, even during spring training. You may have seen his work before at TJ Stats on Twitter. Thomas, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So the Will Warren hype, it began this spring when people started pointing out that his windup looks basically just like Michael King. So that was the fix, right, Thomas? All he had to do was change his windup to look like Michael King?
Yeah, so if you kind of see last year, we got a glimpse of him MLB. He spent most of the time in AAA. He has a very similar kind of build, delivery, and arsenal to Michael King. So Yankees fans definitely very familiar with King. He shipped up to the Padres last year, and he had a phenomenal season. So it kind of looks like they're matching that same kind of blueprint, kind of the Michael King blueprint for Will Warren. And again, his everything about him kind of screams Michael King, all the way from his kind of trio of fastball he has and a really good sweeper.
Well, it's not just the fact that his windup looks a lot like Michael King's, because he had that last season and was not very good for the Yankees. What about his repertoire, Thomas? Did he change this spring that has made him look like a pitcher that Yankee fans are really excited about now?
Yeah, so it looks like this year, at least during the spring, Will Warren's arm slot's a little bit lower. So that is an interesting thing to note. Again, you can look at all different pitch shapes, but definitely one thing is how they're delivering the baseball. So lowering that arm slot has looked like it's helping him get a bit more drop on that changeup. Last year, when he was throwing that changeup, it looked very similar to his sinker, so they're kind of overlapping. So again, if he was throwing a sinker and throwing a changeup, the batters essentially saw the same thing, but one was just slower. This year, the changeup is getting kind of significantly more drop. So now instead of kind of that overlap you're seeing, batters are now swinging over that changeup because it's able to slip underneath bats because they're kind of expecting the sinker, but the changeup again is just dropping below.
You mentioned after his last outing that you really liked his sweeper, but today you seemed a little bit down on his sweeper. What has changed with that sweeper, and why are you starting to get a little bit mixed feelings about it?
Yeah, so with sweeper, it's I'd say one of the best pitches in the minor leagues last year. I've been a fan of Will Warren because of his sweeper. It gets a lot of that glove side action you love to see, and this year it's getting a bit more kind of lift as well. So kind of blending everything together, it looks very strong. But one issue with it's not really an issue with the sweeper. It's kind of a lack of like a supplemental offering. Last year he had a cutter, so it kind of bridged between his fastball, his changeup to that sweeper. So batters again. But you see the cutter coming, it kind of looks like both the fastball, or I guess his sinker and the sweeper. So they're still guessing. But this year, I guess during the spring, that sweeper, it seems very telegraphed. So he hasn't been able to generate a lot of whips or chases on the pitch. And he's still getting good results. Again, they're not. It's a very good pitch, so it's difficult to kind of hit and kind of square up. But it seems like it's a bit too telegraphed. So I'd like to see him kind of reintroduce that cutter back into his arsenal. Again, it was a fairly strong pitch last year, returned good results both in AAA and when he pitched in the majors. So again, I think he's maybe a bit more telegraphed now. I do like the rest of the changes he's made. His fastball has been more life. Looks great this year. The sinker and that changeup, that deviation is always good to see. And again, just finding a way to bridge everything together with that cutter he's already thrown seems like kind of that next logical step.
So we've already mentioned the Michael King comparisons, but the comparisons that Yankee fans will want to be able to make this year are to Luis Gil. Luis Gil filled in for Gerrit Cole last season and went on to win the AL Rookie of the Year. Do you think Will Warren has the stuff to be able to have a Luis Gil type season this year?
Yeah, comparing Warren and Gil, they're very different pitchers. Gil is kind of more that over-the-top fastball slider changeup approach, and Will Warren has more of that low slot supination action going there. So I think from, again, fundamentally they are different pitchers, but I think Warren kind of has that stuff to kind of have a very similar Rookie of the Year season to Hield had last year. Again, I don't want to be too optimistic. That's a little, again, I don't want to be again too kind of on the positive side there, but I do really like the changes he's made, and I think it will definitely be more. He'll be more effective than he was last season because again, last year he struggled a lot against left-handed hitters and just giving up a lot of home runs. But it seems like now he has kind of that revamped changeup, and that sweeper is always going to play because again, it has that insane amount of glove side movement.
Thomas, thank you for coming on. Yankee fans are going to have to be excited about Will Warren now because it's looking like he's going to be a part of that rotation, probably be the 5th starter. So thank you for giving Yankees fans reasons why they should be excited about Will Warren.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Will Warren, I'm excited to see what he does this season. And I'm again really great spring training, how spring training is going for him. And Yankees fans should be very excited to see more of Warren as the spring and as the season starts.
Thanks again.